Over 30,000 elephants are killed every year, close to 100 every day. We're looking at one of the biggest conservation crises, the possible extinction of elephants from the wild.
This baby elephant lived for only a month. It died of dehydration after poachers killed its mother, keen to exploit one of Africa's most lucrative commodities, ivory. In the last year, the international price has jumped to more than $1,000 a kilo, prompting an unprecedented wave of poaching across the continent. With a pair of tusks weighing up to 50 kilos, each elephant represents a fortune, a temptation for many too great to ignore. Less than a mile away, a giant bull elephant lies in a pool of maggots. He's just one of 37,000 African elephants slaughtered for their tusks each year.
To figure out how we got here, we have to turn back the clock to the 1970s and 80s. During this time, no one was monitoring trade, and ivory was being sold legally, even though it was being taken illegally. It's estimated that 100,000 elephants a year were being killed, enough to halve the entire population in just 10 years. For the first time in history, elephants were in crisis. Something had to be done urgently. And in 1989, CITES, the body that governs trade in endangered species, officially banned any trade in ivory. The result was that the bottom dropped out of the ivory market and prices plummeted. The global ban stood fast for 10 years, and it seemed the crisis was over. Elephant numbers began to recover. But this growth was enough to spur certain southern African countries on to lobby CITES to reopen the ivory trade in the form of a once-off sale of their ivory stockpiles, accumulated through natural mortalities and game management. Despite grave concerns, CITES granted permission for the once-off sale, which happened in 1999. They granted another in 2008. The theory behind the decision was that the sale would flood the market with legal ivory and go a long way to preventing the illegal trade as well. It was the beginning of the current poaching crisis. As ivory from the legal sales became available, there were record numbers of illegal ivory seizures all over the world. Evidence that the legal trade was, and still is, driving the illegal trade and poaching. The legal trade is also full of loopholes, as a recent investigation into Hong Kong's so-called legal ivory industry showed. The report, published by conservation organisations Wild Aid and the African Wildlife Foundation, found that ivory traders are using the legal trade as a cover for smuggling and are simply replacing their legal stock with illegal ivory. And there is virtually no way to tell the difference.
这样子嘛，就是说原料多少，制品里多少，这样子按重量。你哪里呢？那是偷龙转来转去嘛，对不对？对不对？那个我这个东西当时登记了，卖出去了，又用了非法的原料做了，要放带地上去，还再这样呢，也不是这个随便的东西都可以带去嘛，所以这根本不懂得管。
There is a legal trade in ivory, but growing demand far outstrips supply. And the surge in amounts being seized by customs suggests that more than half the world's illegal ivory ends up in China, being sold in markets like these. The official trade was meant to reduce the wholesale price. Instead, it's tripled in the last few years. As Asian economies boom, a new class of wealthy consumers look at ivory carvings as an investment.
The influx of ivory from any source, if you look at it, you may find it will stimulate the demand, and in turn it will encourage the poaching in the wild, and unfortunately it will directly threaten the survival of the elephants in the wild. The United States is one of the largest markets for ivory, and within the US, Hawaii is the top market.
This is $500.
500, okay.
Up to 89% of ivory could come from illegal or unknown origin.
Ivory, because I don't have documentation. Unless I have documentation, I'm not supposed to tell you it's ivory. When I sell, I'm not supposed to say ivory. I say it's born. But you know, look like you're a detective, you know?
Current laws are complicated and there are just too many loopholes. Clearly, they are not working. Traffickers are able to launder illicit ivory into our market. That's the loophole that we have to close. Any purchase of ivory items fuels the demand, and that demand is directly contributing to the killing of elephants. To think that these majestic animals are being reduced to trinkets, it's just very heartbreaking. It's critical to stop our contribution to the ivory trade. We need to have an outright ban on ivory sales.